Hello, I'm David Hughes. Welcome to Your Perfect Body, the podcast of the Esoteric Teaching Community. Today's selection is an essay entitled The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Part 1. The second chapter of Bhagavad-gita opens with the following shlokas. Sanjaya uvaca, tam tata kripayavishtam ashru purna kuleshanam vishidantam idam bhaiksyam uvaca madhusudana. Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion and very sorrowful, his eyes brimming with tears, Madhusudana, Kṛṣṇa, spoke the following words. Shri Bhagavan uvaca, kutastva kashmalam idam vishame samupashtitam anarya justam asvargyam akirtikaram Arjuna. The Supreme Person, Bhagavan, said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the progressive values of life. They do not lead to higher planets, but to infamy. Klaibhyang masmagamaparta naitatva upapadyate kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tvaktotishta parantapa. O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Bhagavad-gita 2, 1-3. We already discussed the meaning of Madhusudana and Bhagavan, the names by which Kṛṣṇa is addressed in the first and second shlokas, in previous installments of this series. Now, in the second and third shlokas, the discussion turns to Arjuna's difficulty in performing his duty on the battlefield. Bhagavad-gita is a discussion between Arjuna and Kṛṣṇa on the battlefield of Kurukshetra about 5,000 years ago. The subject of this discussion was that, although war had already been declared, when Arjuna actually saw all his relatives in the opposing army, he could not slay them. Kṛṣṇa advised him that this so-called compassion is actually weakness. Everyone must execute his prescribed duty without consideration of any personal loss or gain. And how do we determine what is our duty? Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Real religious principles are determined directly by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.19. According to Vedic civilization, there are 4 divisions of human society. These same divisions are found in every society all over the world. The division of human society into 4 occupational classes is very natural. Just like in our own body, there is a head, there are arms, there is a belly, and there are legs. Similarly, in the body of society, there must be a class of men who act as the brain, another class who will protect the society from danger, a class of men who are expert in producing food and managing trade for economic development. In Vedic society, the intelligent class is called the Brahmanas, the martial and administrative class is called the Kshatriyas, and the farming and mercantile class is called the Vaishyas. And the remaining class of men, who cannot work as the brain, or protect society from danger, nor produce food grains or trade, are called Shudras. These 4 natural classes complete the body of human society, just as to make your body complete, you need all 4 parts: the brain department, the arms department, the belly department, and the walking or working department. Arjuna belonged to the Kshatriyas, the class of men meant for giving protection to the society. So when Arjuna declined to fight, Kṛṣṇa advised him that it is your duty to fight. Generally, killing or war is not desirable. But when there is an aggressor usurping the peace and order of society, then to kill the aggressor is not sin. It is the Kshatriya's duty to go to war if all other means, such as diplomacy, fail to solve the problem. So the other party in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the sons of Dhritarashtra, was the aggressor, having usurped the rights of Arjuna's party to the throne. This is the setup, the pretext of Bhagavad-gita. But the real purpose of Bhagavad-gita is to instruct Arjuna, and through him all humanity, about spiritual understanding. Spiritual understanding means, first of all, to know what is spirit. If you do not know what spirit is, or the difference between matter and spirit, then where is the question of any further spiritual understanding? The sad fact is that most people cannot answer the simple questions, what is spirit, and how is spirit different from matter? People in general are too much attached to and identified with the material body. That is materialism. But when you understand what spirit is and act accordingly, that is called enlightenment or spiritual life. The esoteric teaching gives instruction in spiritual knowledge, beginning with the nature of spirit and its difference from matter, so that we can progress in spiritual life. And Bhagavad-gita is the beginning or introduction to the esoteric teaching. Arjuna was hesitating to fight with the other party because he had a bodily relationship with them. This hesitation in doing his duty was not approved by Kṛṣṇa. In the first chapter, there was a discussion between Arjuna and Kṛṣṇa, but that discussion was on a friendly basis. Therefore, when Arjuna understood that a friendly discussion could not solve his problem, he became Kṛṣṇa's disciple. Arjuna surrendered to Kṛṣṇa. Karpanya doshopahata svabhavaha pritiyotsyami tvang dharma samudha chetaha yachreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me shisyaste-hang sadimang tvang prapanam. Now I am confused about my duty, and have lost all composure because of weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me clearly what is best for me. Now I am your disciple, and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Bhagavad-gita 2:7. Arjuna is saying to Kṛṣṇa, kindly save me by your instructions. What do I have to do? Therefore, in the second chapter of Bhagavad-gita, Kṛṣṇa begins speaking and advising Arjuna. Shri Bhagavan uvaca, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said. Bhagavad-gita was spoken by Kṛṣṇa. It was a discussion between Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna. It was recorded by Vyasadeva, and later on it became a book. Just like when I speak, it is recorded, and later on it is published as a podcast, a book, or CD. Therefore, in this book, it is said, Shri Bhagavan uvaca, the beautiful Supreme Personality of Godhead said. Vyasadeva is the writer, but he does not write, I say. He writes, Bhagavan uvaca, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said. So the Bhagavad-gita is the actual words of God, transcribed and published all over the world for our benefit. If we analyze other religious teachings, we find that in most cases it is the author speaking. There may be some few quotations or inspirations from God, but mostly they are written in the author's voice. Bhagavad-gita is unique in all the world as a scripture spoken directly by God himself. Over 95% of the Bhagavad-gita is spoken by Kṛṣṇa. No other spiritual tradition has such a remarkable conversation. In this day and age, people are tired of cheating religion. They want a direct personal relationship with God. The esoteric teaching in general, and Bhagavad-gita in particular, give us the words spoken directly by God when he came to this planet about 5,000 years ago. This sacred conversation is the source of tremendous spiritual value, and it is the gateway to the matchless gift of the esoteric.